Good morning, everyone. It is the day before the Super Bowl. Go Chiefs. And we are out here, and I say we. Say Charles. Charles. We barbecuing? We're barbecuing today, smoking a brisket, some pork butts, and then prepping some ribs for tomorrow. I'm gonna turn this around, show you what we got in the firebox. All right, good fire going there. Got a good bed of coals. Got some big logs to get this thing started. With a Lang 60 Deluxe model. See how I have that? That's how it runs. And that thing will run 225. Here, a little shameful shout out to Coast Technology Group. But this smoker, it's climbing its way up to 225 right now, where we'll be the rest of the time. This smoker runs at 225 all day long, as long as you got a split inside the firebox or two. That's another thing about these Langs, is depending on how you run the damper. I'll show you the damper real quick. On a reverse flow smoker, which this one is, the fire's here, smoke goes along the bottom of a baffle, hits that wall, comes back over your meat, and then out through your smokestack. Now, see this right here? We call this the gas pedal. You turn that down, you're gonna regulate the heat that's coming through your smoker. That is full out open. If you run it like that, you run the firebox just right, you can get this thing to 450 degrees, which I have before. But see, it's just steady climbing up. But these Langs, they like to run at 225. I'm telling you, I've had it full of wood in the firebox. So I always thought more wood, more heat, but sometimes that's not the case. It's all on how you run your dampers. We've got the door, and I'm going to show you a couple of vents here. We got these pinwheel dampers, right? Both sides. You want a lot of heat, you have those all the way up. And I mean, that's the secret right there. You just close that door. If you run it wide open, sometimes you're losing heat. Just depends on also the wind. Today we might have a 5-mile-an-hour wind today, but nothing up against the building where we are here. So the thing about these Langs, this Model 60, doesn't matter how much wood you put in that box. It's how you're running your dampers and your smokestack. So you'll figure it out with any different size smoker you have. But these Langs, because they're reverse flow, they really do like to run at 225, and you can pack that box full of wood. Another thing about these Langs is they're not insulated fire boxes from the factory. I've thought about putting those fire bricks in there. I really haven't felt the need. Right now it's 33 degrees. Again, would it save a little bit of fuel in splits of wood? Maybe, but this thing, 45 minutes to an hour, 1 to 2 splits. Small splits, and I'll show you my splits here. So that's what we're running. That's it right there. Small split. I got a size 8.5 foot You know, these are on the small size of splits that we run, but the thing is we'll run 2 of them, equivalent to 1. It's all in. A lot of this is fire management, and you know, they say set it and forget it on these pellet smokers and everything else. These big pits, it is set it and forget it. You just throw a chunk of wood in every 45 minutes to an hour. So gonna get better smoke penetration in a wood burning stick burner offset smoker than a pellet grill, in my humble opinion. We've done side-by-side tests. So the thing about the Langs in particular, the reverse flow, it just seems like the fire management is so minimal. Me and my team, we joke about it that it's almost boring at times because it's so consistent. Sorry, it's cold out here. I'm just trying to stay warm. I'll show you the inside of the cook chamber. So on these Langs, this 60 Deluxe model, I put a sliding rack in, but if you see down here, there's a griddle that goes all the way across. Then there's a piece of V-channel. I think you can see that V-channel, and all the grease goes down into this spout in this bucket, and then you open the valve and you can drain it out. But on this Lang in particular, this 60 Deluxe, that griddle, man, once you get briskets and really pork butts on it, I love the sound of pork butts. You can look at my channel, Crooked Thumb Barbecue, on Instagram. I got some videos of this smoker just singing with the fat just hitting that griddle and gargling it. It's a pretty fantastic sound. But we're gonna get these briskets on in the next 30 minutes, get this fire up. It's climbing right now since I closed the door. And this is another trick about a Lang 60 I'm gonna give you, okay? So run your box just like I told you, just cracked there. If there's 2 handles here, there's this one, leave that alone, just leave it up. It's not gonna do anything. This one, crack it and set it on that lever here. So if you pull that up, the door's gonna close. But that is what we call the smoke train. It's drawing more air from the firebox underneath this baffle and up and out. And if you want to build your heat inside your smoker really quick, you just prop it open like that, and you see a lot of smoke coming out. You'd think you'd be losing heat, but this thing will just climb. I'm gonna set it here and see if it'll do a couple degrees while we're, yeah, see, it's clicking all the way up. And within 5 to 10 minutes you can see 100-degree difference on this particular smoker with what we call the smoke train, leaving that open just like that. And then you put your meat on and you're ready to start smoking at 225. Again, gas pedal, smoke train, that's what we call it. And then crack that door open just like that. And sometimes we'll just we'll take a piece of wood. Actually, I'll walk you over here. Charles, you on the lookout, huh? You on the lookout? This is normally how we run. Oh well, that one's too short. We'll get a piece of wood and just lean it up against the smoker. I've got one in my truck here, I'll show you. And I started doing it as a safety thing so it wouldn't come open. But yeah, you just take a piece of wood right there, you lean it on top. I was like, man, I don't want my door to fly open, and hot coals get everywhere, but it actually creates enough draw for that to go through the cook chamber. Look at this. Just from us standing here, it's already climbing. Climb, 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 climb. If I left it like this, this grill would get 400 degrees over a matter of probably 20 minutes. That's a kind of a walkthrough through these Lang 60s. I know on Facebook or YouTube, any social media, there's not a lot of videos about these Lang 60s, and I bought it thinking it's too big, and what do they say? Buy a smoker bigger than you think you need, right? So I'm looking at the 84 Fat Boy now. So 3 racks, unbelievable capacity, but we're starting to do some catering here. So this thing is amazing. I've got a crew of like 20 to 25 people I cook for on a monthly basis here at my company, Coast Technology Group, an IT and audio video company. But we like to eat barbecue, and we like to eat good barbecue. But back to the Lang. Yeah, I think I want an 84 Fat Boy because I want to mount it on the back of a barbecue food trailer. And then we've got a mobile kitchen. We've got the smoker on the back. We just roll in, roll out, get in, get out, and get on. When we do competitions, it'd be nice too. But this Lang 60 Deluxe, we added a mod. Now I know they do this from the factory, but in our smoke box here, or the warmer box as they call it, we put a damper in there. Where is my, oh, there it is. We put a damper in here, right? So you move that out of the way, see that fire? You can feel this whole smoke, I call it smoke box, but you fill this whole warmer box up. And this fits half pan sizes. The 84s fit a whole size. With catering, that's another thing, but there's some people that will never use this box ever, and I understand that. But we can run this thing up and do chicken. We've done chicken in it. You can do sausage, and if you're cold smoking stuff, this is a great place to do it because it's not really regulated by how you're running your fire down there. So it's got a damper on each side. See, it's got a damper on each side, so if you're running this box, you can open those up and smoke will start billowing out of there. People say, I'll never use a warmer box. We sure have. Sorry about that. We sure have. Any other Lang that I get, I'll definitely get the warmer box because I'd rather have more space. Now we've done ribs on it too. They turned out fantastic. Oh, look at this. We're just standing here talking. In that short amount of time, less than 10 minutes I've been doing this, and it's almost up to the 225 mark. So once it gets to the 225 mark, I'll shut this and just pull this lever up, and it'll shut that door, and then you're at 225 for the next 10 hours. You know, I was looking on the other side here. We're in Oklahoma here, but man, I like some crawfish. So, Charles, you doing okay, bud? You okay, Bubs? Okay. I was like, man, why didn't they come all the way out with the shelf like they did on this side? If you go over here, you got a bigger shelf, see? They didn't over here, but you can set some pans, but it doesn't sit flat because of that right there. But what I think I'm gonna do is put 2 burners right here, cooktop burners for propane, and then we can do catfish fries, crawfish boils, things like that. Another grease drip tray. I guess I could, I'm not cooking on that today, but I'll show you what I did. There you go. I tell you what, right here, That's a branded Traeger. Traeger's good enough to catch my grease out of the lane. I'll give them that. They're good enough to catch. I'm just kidding. One of the guys on my team cooks exclusively out of a pellet grill, and it's always a fun commentary. Yeah, I hope this helps some people make some decisions. You know, I've looked at Moberg, I've looked at Fat Stack, I've looked at all kinds of smokers, the big names, and I'm telling you right now that for the money, best bang for the buck, it is really hard to beat a Lang. And they talk about spot welding. Let me spot welding, okay? Guys, there's a smoker that cooks meat. I cook 3 weekends out of the month. These are put together well. People say, oh, you know, they could have run the full bead. Okay. To me, it's a tool. Some people, it's completely art having their smoker, and I love the Mobergs. I love the Fat Stacks. There's a lot of good ones out there. I've been looking at the 500 gallon, and maybe one day 1,000 gallon. But I'm telling you, if you're cooking for 200 people around that, I think the Lang 60 is good. More than that, you need the 84, or you want to lay out your smoker a little bit different and just have lots and lots of space. Go with the 84. The 108s are great too. I don't think they're going to eat as much wood as a lot of people think they do. But I hope this video is helpful for people considering a Lang 60 Deluxe. There's not, like I said, not a lot of walkthrough videos on this. And lo and behold, look at this. Yep, 225. It is time to get some meat on. So, Crooked Thumb Barbecue, we got a channel on YouTube. Check us out, subscribe. I hope to show you some more videos on this particular cook on our Instagram and maybe even Facebook. So, check us out. Super Bowl tomorrow. Go Chiefs. Crooked Thumb Barbecue.